feel like I look like I'm naked.
We were practicing the same stunts over and over and still couldn't get them to hit. One last time, I told myself, and then I'll really need a break. As soon as my feet jumped into their hands, I knew something was off. I saw the ground, and I knew I was going to hit it. Thud. I had been through worse falls, and I'd never been injured, so I only sat out for a few minutes, and then I joined my team once again. What I didn't realize is that my brain had suffered a traumatic and life-threatening injury that would change my life in more ways than I thought possible. According to the CDC, a concussion is a type of traumatic brain injury, or TBI, caused by a bump, blow, or jolt to the head that causes the brain to move rapidly back and forth inside of the head. Dr. Agarwal describes the trigger to a concussion as when the brain contacts the inner side of the skull and potentially tears blood vessels, pulls nerve fibers, and bruises the brain. This blow may cause the individual to lose consciousness, but that doesn't happen in all cases. Symptoms of concussion may be subtle or severe and could either last a couple days or a couple months. Common symptoms would be confusion, headache, memory loss, nausea, ringing in the ears, sensitivity to light, sensitivity to noise, loss of smell, or trouble falling asleep. Brainline.com states that some people who have had a concussion find that at first it is hard to do their daily activities, to get along with everyone at home, or just to relax. Ignoring your symptoms and trying to tough it out often makes your symptoms worse. The biggest danger of a concussion would be a hematoma, which is a large collection of blood forming on the brain. A hematoma could be fatal. Another major danger of a concussion would be receiving another concussion before the head brain has had time to heal, which could result in swelling, permanent brain damage, and even death. A danger that is avoidable would be not allowing the brain to heal, which could lead to permanent impairment of the brain. The first step to recovery is to see a doctor as soon as possible. The doctor will perform a series of neuropsychological or neurocognitive tests to assess what the brain functions your concussion has affected. This may be memory, problem solving, concentration, or reaction time. Based on your test results, the doctor has a sense of how severe your concussion is and will give you instructions on which activities you can or cannot do. Since the only way to recover from a concussion is by rest, and there is no type of medicine the doctor can give you other than telling you to take over-the-counter drugs like Advil to relieve your headache pain. Typically, a doctor will clear you to resume activity once your symptoms have lifted. When it comes to the healing process, it is very important to take it easy and allow the brain to recover. A concussion is essentially a bruise on the brain. When a bruise is constantly being poked, it will never heal. The same goes for the brain. If the patient does not allow the brain to recover and keeps doing activities that put stress and require concentration of the brain, the symptoms of the concussion will never go away. In order to have a speedy recovery, it is important to get plenty of sleep, avoid any physically or mentally challenging activity. This would include work or school, to avoid driving and avoid bright lights and loud noise, and to not use electronic devices for long periods of time, including a cell phone or a TV. Now that you have been informed about the dangers of a concussion, I hope if you or someone around you experiences a blow that may result in a concussion, we will recognize the seriousness of the situation and receive medical help immediately. I currently have a concussion which has impacted my life in more ways than I thought it ever could. I have been taken out of work, school, cheer, and soccer practice for at least 2 weeks. I'm also not allowed to drive, use my phone, or do any mentally or physically damaging activities, including going to basketball games and staying up late at sleepovers. Before I got a concussion, I was unaware of the severity and seriousness of the injury. I would never have imagined that my life is at risk each time I enter practice.